Welcome back to the stream, everybody. We have just killed a giant beast, and I want you to think about how you're going to get that back to the town here. But in the meantime, we've got a couple characters that have a nice little smoke blowing competition to go to. And so, sure enough, after some time in town, the music starts playing and people begin festivizing. The kids especially are enjoying all of the little things. You gather in the abode of one of the one of the citizens here in town, and the old man with the large mustache is smiling and happy as a group of like 10 or so of you have come to the smoke blowing competition in an attempt to outblow the other's smoke. Outdo each other in the smoke blowing. And so he organizes it in such a way that everyone follows the leader. So in the first round, somebody blows a simple smoke ring, and then everyone must blow a smoke ring that matches it. And then the next person in line adds a variation and adds a variation until eventually there will only be one left standing, as you are the one that has outsmoked all the others. So the pipes are lit and everyone is around. And the first hobbit blows a large, simple smoke ring, a perfect donut of smoke, up and around. Everyone kind of nods, and down the line it goes. There are 8 dwarves, but only 7 that are not the leader in this competition. What order are you all in? Roll me a d7, each of you, to determine your place in the line. You're third, Sean. Tom is third.
You want me to roll a d6? Or, well, I guess I'll roll a d7 still.
Yeah, if you end up 3, we'll shunt you one way or the other.
Yep,
You're second in line. Okay, so the first smoke ring is blown, and it is the standard smoke ring. It is a DC 8. Dexterity check? Does that sound good to you to make a smoke ring? What check are you making to make your smoke ring?
Here was my question for you, Greg.
Yes.
I have a cantrip. This cantrip goes by the name of thaumaturgy, and it lets me produce minor miracles. And its one component is verbal, and I feel like the fact that I'd basically be like throating these words directly into the smoke that I hold in my mouth would be a perfect use of thaumaturgy to help.
So I think that you will have no problem passing any of the smoke ring checks, but you're cheating. So I think you need to make some kind of sleight of hand like check to not be heard.
Would it be like wisdom to keep it cool?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, something like that. Like sleight of hand, I think is.
I'm not going to do it right
stat.
now. I just wanted to establish that first. I just want to establish that.
Reasonable sized.
Yeah,
right now I'm going to go for the DC 8. And
I was looking at the thaumaturgy cantrip too. It technically doesn't do anything for like smoke rings.
Yeah, but it says you can. It's like a list of options, right? I imagine you.
I totally think thaumaturgy will nail the smoke rings, but you want to make sure you're not caught cheating. So I think that's where your difficulty will lie.
What are the options? So if I were to try and just blow a standard smoke ring,
I'm thinking that this is kind of like a dexterity check with your mouth to like make the correct shape to get there.
Dexterity performance.
Performance, something like that. Yeah, I think that is how I would rule it, unless you have something that you're thinking might be better.
Let me take a quick look here.
I guess it could be Constitution performance.
I would accept that to like get the prerequisite air.
Yeah.
I would be happy with either of those choices. Villith, you are next on the list. The smoke ring is blown at DC 8. What check how are you causing your smoke ring?
I'll just do a standard, probably dexterity check. I guess it'd be dexterity.
Dexterity performance? Sounds good.
R1d20 plus 3, because I'm not trained in performance.
Ooh, here's an idea.
You blow a nice little smoke ring, and it passes down the line to Tom Lightbringer.
So, insight is like the ability to read other people's emotions, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try and cheat with thaumaturgy, and if I fail the insight check, I think that's me basically going like, okay, I'm definitely attracting attention to myself, and I will just fail the smoke ring and let myself get knocked out rather than get caught cheating.
Okay, all right. I like this. So you're trying to read the room to like modulate your voice rather than let it get caught. I'm okay with that. Yeah. All right. So you're making insights to make sure that you can get your smoke ring cheating off.
14 right now.
Easy, yes. You make a perfect smoke ring with your thaumaturgy. The dwarves go down the line. Now there are the hobbits go down the line. There are 5 left in the competition. So we will go 5d20. They all have +4 to their checks. So a 7 immediately fails. Immediately after you, Tom, one of the younger hobbits blows an inferior smoke ring, because not make it happen. The one after him passes. And the one after them passes. Everyone else makes a nice standard smoke ring. It now falls to the next in line, Villith. You are tasked with making a variation on the smoke ring, and you will be setting the DC with the success of your check.
Ooh.
So
right.
what variation on the standard smoke ring are you making?
Go on, make the octopus.
Yeah, right.
Make a sail ship and just send it through one of the rings.
Yeah.
Or a
I'll
jellyfish.
get another opportunity later in the competition, assuming I don't get knocked out, right? To do something more impressive, because it's still pretty early.
Right. Of the 8, only 1 has failed.
Right. I'm gonna go for a standard real life smoke ring trick where I blow a big smoke ring, and then I shoot a small smoke ring through it.
Okay. Yes.
Classic.
All right. You need to pass a DC 10 to make that happen, or you fail outright. Otherwise, the more you succeed at your test, that will set the DC higher by the number that you pass it by.
Okay. All right. So let's see how I'm worried I'm gonna roll really shit and just. Yep. There it is. Really
All right, you fail to produce an appropriate smoke ring, and all of the hobbits look around you like, oh, they grumble. The one that lost before you like pats you on the back, says, better luck next year.
Doesn't that technically just set the DC really low, like, or no?
You failed to produce the smoke ring that you tried to make.
There wasn't even a ring.
Yeah, you just blew a bunch of smoke into the room. So it falls to you, Tom. What variation of a smoke ring are you making?
I'm gonna try and what is a reasonable variation here? I'm thinking something like more oblong, trying to make it like an oval or something that's a little bit
Okay, you're making an ovoid.
Requires you to have a little bit more control, like to shape it in a particular way.
All right. You make an ovoid.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a horrible
same
here.
situation here. I think that's a simple DC 12.
13.
Okay, you pass the DC 12, and you pass by 1, so that increases the DC to 13 for the other hobbits. I keep trying to call everything a dwarf in line. There are only 5.
Now, Greg, did he use thaumaturgy there to do that smoke ring?
Yes.
Yes, he's using thaumaturgy to create the rings. And
the whole goal here is that I'm using
pass
insight to make sure that nobody's like catching on to it.
Okay, because Villith also knows thaumaturgy.
You gonna mess with him?
So would I recognize that he's casting a spell?
Make a insight check.
Okay.
Make an Actually, this is Arcana, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would make an Arcana wisdom check to see what he's doing.
Okay.
Would they know the same? Are like thaumaturgies the same between clerics and wizards?
You're making the same effect right?
Sure.
Your path to magic may be different, but the results are the same, and so, you know.
Okay, so am I just using... So I'm rolling Wisdom Arcana?
I believe so, yes. I think
Okay,
that...
I was going to say, because that's worse than either my straight Intelligence Arcana or my Wisdom Insight.
Well, is there...
You picked a skill I'm not proficient in with a attribute that I'm
Well,
not.
okay. Do you how do you propose you want to investigate this then? Because I picture it as you're using an Arcana check because this is magic involved. You want to know if he's casting a spell, and it's kind of like a wisdom.
Wisdom, because wisdom is your perception of the world.
Your perception
I
of the
could
world
see
around
that.
you. Do you
What
have a
about
different?
what about rolling that but with advantage because it's a spell that I know?
Sure. Yeah, why not? It is a spell you are intimately familiar with as a tiefling.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see that.
It's
So
in your nature to thaumaturgize.
It's a 12 total.
Okay.
Which actually
Okay.
loses. I
That
think.
does actually lose
Yeah.
his insight check.
All right. So I don't realize he did it.
You don't realize that he's thaumaturging.
Yep.
The rest of the dwarves, however, pass your DC fairly well.
Oh wow.
and the next one does in fact blow the same thing that Villith was trying to do, with the larger ring and the ring going right through it.
Okay.
Successfully creating a DC 16. No, that's a 20. 20, 12 minus 8. Yeah, that's a DC 20 check to create. This is apparently a very impressive smoke ring. Like, there was some patterns in the original smoke ring, and he blew like a smoke ring sideways, like a disc through it. Like
I think the issue, like, I can easily make it, but like I have to make it look like I'm struggling to do it successfully. Because like if I just effortlessly do it, everyone's gonna be like, oh, this guy's using magic.
So all of the other hobbits go before you, and they pass very well, fail and fail. So it's just you and 2 other hobbits at this point. You have to make a DC 20 check to
So let's see if I
successfully
just
create this.
No, I bow out. I'm like, there's no way I can do this. Like, it's so bad. I'm like, nope. I'm just
Villith,
gonna, like,
you
blow out a puff of
immediately
smoke.
recognize as he's bowing out that this is a aborted spell, as it just turns into like a bunch of misty mist. And these hobbits go back and forth a bit until finally one of them emerges victorious with a very intricate smoke ring of many designs and turning, twisting trails in it. They are awarded with a ebony pipe that is inlaid with silver and designed in like glyphs and runes around it. They smile at their things. Like, ha ha! I have always wanted to earn this. I am the king of the smoke today. And you are all given, a thank you and a mighty congratulations on your attempts. You all are you just given like a free little piece of food as a congratulatory gift. So, Janlar, your friends are blowing smoke, off hunting. Are you just standing by the cart? What are you doing? What are you doing in town, my dude?
No, Janlar. Sorry, my bad. Janlar would have purchased some spell components from Dog, and then spent most of his day probably just drinking in the inn, waiting for this event tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. Wouldn't have done much.
What do you buy from Horsedog? Horsedog obviously has quite a bit of stuff in front of him, but he's happy to help.
I would ask him if he has like strips of leather that I can, because I need to loop them into small strips. So I need to get small strips of leather from him.
Of course. Yes, we just left Wayside. I have plenty. How small are you looking for? And he measures it out and cuts some strips up for you. What else can I get you?
I need a hunk of make a chunk of make.
Whoa, you just.
I don't know what happened with your mic, but it was awesome.
Sorry, I have no idea. I need
Toss tongues. That's what he did.
Yeah.
like a hunk of like mica, like the rock, so I can chip off chips for shatter.
Interesting. He roots around and finds these things, and he says, "I'll give you a nice secret discount for it. How about 2 pieces of silver for the whole bit?"
I pay him the 2 silver. Happily.
Excellent. And you get your spell components. And you said you just try to find a bar?
Yeah, I would go to the local tavern and just kind of.
All right. They're
Just
having
kinda
they're having a
town.
like festival drink menu, right? Lots of little cocktails that are being made and pointed out, and you are more than happy to, or more than allowed to order some. They're a bit priced up because it is festival season. Each of these drinks will cost you 5 silver each, and they are all like made with little umbrellas and out of kind of like weird squashes. They're served in like squashes. And the bar is pretty empty, right? Like, people come in and get a drink, and they just kind of like leave and go back out to do other things. So as you stand there, you see kind of hobbits coming in and out, getting drinks, being happy. The bartender loves you because he can try to sit there and sell you more drinks as you finish. He's like, how about another one? Yes, the best. Why don't you try one of each? But you spend the rest of the day there.
He's
trying
gonna
to stay
be
away.
white go wasted.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get drunk and wait.
He's gonna get really drunk.
Hashtag day drinking.
I guess I would look around to see if there's anyone particular who comes into the inn that appears to be out of town, maybe coming for this festival. But if it just appears to be all people from this town,
It mostly seems to be locals. You don't see anybody that stands out other than you and Horstog as non-local people today.
yeah, then I'll just leave these peasants to their days.
Wow.
All right, you drink silently in the corner. There are 12 different drinks available for you to purchase, so you could spend upwards of 60 gold or however much for whichever amount of drinks you
purchase
wish.
a couple drinks.
Alrighty.
back.
And that leaves us with Rose and Sambar. You have successfully hunted down and killed this massive Auroch. It's huge. How are you going to get it back?
My question is, how many arrows got broken when this beast went down?
Roll D100. 50 or higher, they are fine and recoverable. 50 or lower, they have broken.
I got 14.
All right, that is a broken arrow.
All right. So I get half or none?
That arrow is broken. How many arrows did you shoot?
4.
4. Roll 3D100. All right, 3 of them are recoverable, and 1 of them is broken, and like it's been snapped off deep in this hide as it fell to the ground when Rose
Alrighty.
killed it.
As a hunter, I know, and like I actually know, the best way to carry it back is you gut it on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, gutting it, dumping out all its insides, and I'm like, you might want to stand back, right? Like,
You're in the splash
He
zone.
causes a small flood.
it's
It's like when I went to the Evil Dead musical.
It's like the Tauntaun scene out of episode 5, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm,
So
yep.
Slice, guts fall out, all the way to
I
the
step
throat.
back as the guts flood past me.
Cut the butt end, cut the throat end. Now I've just got a carcass. Here's the hard part. And I just like try to lift it onto my shoulders.
All right, this is a huge creature,
I
and
know.
it is
Can we have an educated guess together how much that thing might weigh?
over a ton. And
It's a
you
full-blown cow.
You begin to try to lift this creature with all of your muscles straining and jerking, but you cannot.
That's not fucking website. That's
There you go.
Not
now
even
you
with
just you need to
magic.
set up a sled and drag
That's
it.
what I was thinking, but
Do we know
drag
sled
a
technology, Craig?
No, you have to wait for Neil to invent it first.
They could turn into something really strong and help.
I can't. I already used. That's my second use for
Oh,
today.
okay.
I can't turn in anything.
Did you-
Plus,
no,
Your
I was
first
yesterday.
use was against the axe beaks. That was yesterday.
oh, that was yesterday,
Yeah, we
right?
slept.
So that's what. But that thing. So that thing is a ton. You can. How much is your capacity to drag stuff?
It's a 10 times your. No, it's a. It's either 10 or 20 times your strength score.
Second drag, blah blah blah, twice your carrying capacity.
Oh, is it only
So
2
30
times?
Are we doing variant or are we doing normal encumbrance?
We're just doing the normal.
Normal?
encumbrance. Yeah.
Normal is 30 times your strength
No, we're doing the
score.
variant. We're doing the variant.
So, I can't. Which one is it?
The variant is the one
remember.
that has.
We're using the encumbrance rules, right? There should be one set of encumbrance rules in 5e.
How much is a ton in
Oh,
pounds?
right. The variant is encumbrance then, I guess, because the other is
Yeah.
just lifting and carried.
A ton
Okay,
is
sorry, my
2,000
bad.
pounds, Millman.
Okay, well,
Carry
yeah,
and-
I can't scratch half. So,
Hold on.
what's the drag
on.
rule?
Carry weight in excess of 10 times.
All right.
Okay, you're right.
I guess
But
I'll
it
have
just-
to look it up in the rules.
Blah
I
blah
thought
blah
this
blah
was gonna
blah.
be
It doesn't
similar.
say you can't carry it. It just says it slows you down, right?
I'm pretty sure a ton crushes us. I'm just.
If it's above your dragging rate, then you can't move it. I probably should have looked this
Does
up.
D&D
very
5 even
first.
have dragging rates?
It should.
It does, yeah.
I'm almost certain it does. I've read it before.
So
I
dragging
just don't
dragging is
remember it.
30 times your strength score.
There you go.
That's
30 times?
30 would be your 30 times 18, right?
Yeah.
Which is
It's
270.
basically double your normal carry.
270.
You might need to get like a proper I'm not actually joking when I say you might need a sled.
Yeah, you might need to go get the cart.
Yeah.
The orcs or the.
Well, you can run faster if you want. I can stay with the beast.
And I should go
Or-
back and ask for like a
Vice
card or
versa.
something.
Yeah, just bring back our cart. We should be able to get it on there, hopefully. Bring help. Go get help.
Right,
Lassie,
and good
get
old
out.
Lassie.
I was
And
just saying, yeah,
good-
she
good old Lassie.
Wild shapes into a border collie and comes to find us.
I guess that's what I do.
All right.
I can wait here, and I'll start thinning out some digestive tract to make bowstring.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. You begin the drying process there. Fate, you rush back into town, following your path to this creature, and you get back to town. What do you do? Who do you look for?
I could just get our cart, right? The cart we came with.
You could.
Would that carry a ton, or is that still too heavy?
You've got 2 oxen that are capable of dragging it, probably. If you took everything out of the cart and you only carried this carcass, you might be able to get there.
Right.
The problem's gonna be putting it on the cart.
That's why I said get friends.
Right. I'm looking for the strongest person I can possibly find.
She goes over to
A drunk Janlar comes.
You look around, yeah. You see Janlar like 2 drinks in, and Tom walking out of the smoke ring debacle. They seem to be the strongest. Give me you are making a perception check with like charisma, I think, to determine.
Oh my god, this is gonna go
the
If
terrible.
you go with
Strongest
Tom, I
person.
actually think I can help you here.
I think Janlar probably has some ideas too.
Oh my god. Okay. Well,
Get townsfolk to do it for you.
how are you? I mean, okay. Is Janla terribly drunk at the moment?
He's had 2 drinks. He's a little drunk.
What a lightweight.
He's a lightweight.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty drunk. Let's be real.
Right, because I don't want to interrupt the smoke ring competition, I guess. So I walk over to Janla and I say, Professor Janla.
Hi, how's it going?
I'll look at him. I'm like, did you drink again?
Possibly.
You know that's poison, right?
It's great though.
Mm-hmm.
So great.
Right.
I
You
can
think you
imagine
would-
him standing there with his wizard hat on, slightly swaying. He's like,
We need to bring back a very heavy carcass. Is that something you might be able to assist with, or should I ask somebody else?
Well, can we carry it on the cart?
We possibly can. I'm not sure we can put it on. It weighs approximately a ton. It's really heavy.
Maybe just sheer number of bodies would do the trick. How far is it from town?
Oh, it's like. How far was it away? It's like, you walk out and then you're not quite sure. It's like, it's a little bit out.
Here, I'll give you a really good Aussie slang term you can use in everyday life. It's just down the road.
Down the road. Just down the road.
Yeah, that's it.
I look around and.
Where you going?
Is it you said it's just halflings in town?
It is almost entirely halflings in town. If you want, you can attempt to find the strongest looking people in town. I think you're going to be asking around, looking, and talking. So I think you're making a perception charisma check with your ability to get this information out of the festival goers.
I would imagine most of the really strong people in town are probably out hunting their own beasts right now.
Yep, probably.
I think we just need to get sheer numbers. Just if we pay 10 to 15 of these halflings to help us pick this up.
Right, round up the parade.
I think at some point, you're probably gonna have Villith and Tom walking back, blowing ridiculous shapes out of smoke now. We're making stars and sailboats.
Yeah. Villith's coup de grace for that. She's actually going to be telling you, it's a pity that stupid double ring didn't work, because look what I was going to do. And draws on a cigarette and then takes a swig of liquor and blows a flaming smoke ring. She's got fire resistance. So she doesn't care if it catches in her mouth and then just.
I just look at Jenla and I say, I think Tom set our new party member on fire.
It just seemed a little unfair for round 2 of the competition. I was waiting for her.
I looked at Faye. I think the tiefling can do that on his own.
Tom set
our new party member
on fire.
I just look at it. What do you mean they can do it on? Am I the only person who understands how dangerous fire is? What are you doing? What do you mean that they can't breathe fire? Are you serious?
I've read about it a few times, but yeah, it appears that you'll need to watch out for him as well.
Her?
Yeah, her.
No, it's a girl.
But walking up, do you apprise us of this situation?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So the issue here is we need something strong enough to get it onto the cart, right? We're gonna bring a cart and we need something strong enough to lift it onto the cart so that it can.
Essentially, yes. I think the cart is at its maximum capacity, but.
Okay,
sure.
So Greg, I have a spell for this. It's enhance something. Let me double check what it's
ability. Enhance ability.
Yeah. So it doesn't say that it gives you more strength, but it gives you advantage on strength saving throws and stuff like that. You can enhance somebody's natural abilities.
Okay.
Would it be enough to enhance our satyr to lift something very heavy a short distance onto the cart? Particularly with the added hands that are going to show up to help.
I don't know. Isn't there a strength spell in 5e? Isn't there?
That is a strength spell. Enhance ability gives you bull strength, and that enhances your carrying capacity.
Advantage on strength. Oh, carrying capacity doubles. There we go.
Yeah, but it's carrying. I'm not sure.
Well, if
how
carrying capacity
how
doubles, we can infer that it doubles his drag strength as well. So if you cast that spell, it will double his ability to lift and drag.
Yeah, and then with the added hands of Tom and Janlar showing up, I'm sure we could get it onto a cart.
I will probably give you a community strength check, pure strength to just hoist that shit up on there.
Right.
But
see how long we have to get it to work. If I were to cast the spell, if it's a minute long thing, that might be 1 or 2 checks. Up to 1 hour. I feel we'll eventually be able to make that work.
I don't think the problem is going to be the person who's been ensorcelled. It's going to be, does the added hands actually get it done? Right? So I think that it's probably not going to be a series of 20 checks until you succeed. It's okay, now that we have this super powered satyr, Like he's gone Ultra Instinct, right?
His hair turns blonde and he goes Super Saiyan.
No. That's old news. Ultra Instinct, he's like black with pink trimming now.
Yeah, he goes Ultra Instinct, and he's gonna be the like lever to get this thing up. Are the rest of you enough to take care of the rest, right?
Okay.
All right, I think that's what that check's gonna be. So you get the cart, you drive back out there. You see Sambar standing guard over his fresh kill. He's got strings of intestine drying in the sun, and you have a chance to maybe hoist this thing up onto your empty cart.
All right.
So I want I guess this is athletics, right? Is ultimately what the skill is. If you're trained in athletics, you can get your proficiency. This is athletic strength to hoist this thing up there. Sambar, you are empowered by Bull's strength, so you get advantage on your already quite impressive strength.
Yeah, so what are we doing here?
You are making an athletic strength check as a
Okay,
group.
athletics.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yes!
Unlimited power!
And we're going to see if, as a group, you succeed to lift this up.
all right, 1 second. I really need to port this to PDF because Roll20's character sheet is very slow.
So are we just all making a strength check?
Yes, as everyone involved in lifting this creature up onto the cart is making a group
15.
check.
Lilith is not helping.
Very good.
Yeah, mine's not helpful.
Hey, you might roll that 20 because this is Dungeons and Dragons we're talking about.
Ah, it's alright.
Okay, so 26 and a 26
Are we just
is
adding them all
46,
together? 'Cause that's
52 minus 1 is 55, and 5 is 60, and 10 is 70. 70 divided by 3, 7 by 4. I'm gonna need to math this. You're close, I think.
Lilith is gonna be like, isn't part of the challenge killing something you can actually bring back to town?
No.
Shush.
Is find the biggest beast, and I have achieved it. Go get more hobbits.
17 and a half is exactly it. And I set the group DC at 18 in my head. So I guess you win. You round up 17 and a half. You, at the very edge of your strength collectively, backs bowed in pure effort and power, get this thing onto the cart. And you are
Now,
able
And the
to...
cart breaks.
The cart buckles under the weight of this, but holds. It is well made, and it is a Split Tails Ranch cart. And you make your
is
way
true.
back very slowly. The oxen and you, with some help every now and then in really tough parts of the grass, barely make this thing move. And you begin rolling your way into town. Eventually making it as the town begins getting ready for the feast. You are maybe an hour or so away from having missed the deadline due to the slowness of dragging this one-ton creature. I like to
imagine the hobbits are like bringing back ducks and ferrets. Like, this is as much as I can carry.
One of them managed to get like a whole like badger. Like
I was gonna say like a large house cat. You know what I mean? Like
You show up and you find that the hunters among them have gathered a great many things. Some, as you say, small game, rabbits, ducks, birds, fowl of certain kind. Some much larger. You see, like elk and some smaller kind of cats, like almost bobcat-like. But the prize, for sure, up until that point, was definitely small owl bear. Not the largest of the owl bear, but obviously a juvenile owl bear. But it was clearly the prize of all the possessions, and you see this very proud and grinning hobbit with a big bow, oversized, like double-sized him on his back, clearly believing he had won. And as you roll into town, the cart creaking and squeaking and like groaning.
On the front of the cart, you just see the beast hanging over the thing, and I'm standing there.
You see
Sun
this
on my back, glistening.
This massive mammoth-like creature comes rolling into town, and the just look of pure despair over this hobbit's face.
As we approach town, I'm gonna look at Tom and I'm gonna say, "Want to have some fun with them?" And I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy and make the ground kind of tremble minorly as we approach. So
I'll add mine in to make the
somewhere there's like the Jurassic Park, like
I'll cast minor
as we-
illusion to create a loud boom as well.
Wait, can you make sounds with illusions?
Yeah, either sound or.
Oh, it's one or the other. Okay.
Yeah. And so a large boom echoes out, announcing your arrival. The ground trembles as this mammoth creature is rolled into town. Sambar standing Captain Morgan style on the front of the
I'll
of the
add another
cart.
bit to the thaumaturgy, and I'll darken all of the flames that are going on around town. a little bit more eerie as we roll in.
The entire town goes silent, and then erupts simultaneously in cheers as you have conquered the greatest, largest beast in the grassland. The elders come up to you, clapping you all on the back. Amazing, amazing work. Oh, an Auroch, our feast is truly blessed this day. Yes, come to the front. You are truly the kings of the feast. And you are rolled up right in front of this very, like, downtrodden looking halfling standing over his owlbear kill.
Like, I usher Rose in front of him, right? Like, right in front of him, and then I stand beside her, like, yeah, right in front of him. Yeah, that's it. Know your
So I
place
guess
above the plebs, right?
I stand there super awkwardly, I guess, and then I just extend my hands and I just like throw them out, and they're just like these tiny petals just raining down on you, and I say, "Behold, King Sandbar."
The halfling starts like, but I killed an owlbear. I'm never gonna be king, and he throws his bow down and just kind of wanders
Throws
off.
off his little hunter's cap and his bow, and he's like, "I quit. I'm gonna go be a
Damn
farmer
outsiders
like my
taking the
father."
title every year.
And you see these five.
Does he storm off after he does that?
I'm sorry?
Does he storm off after doing that?
He doesn't storm off so much as he just walks off. He's just downtrodden. A
I steal
downtrodden
it.
person can't storm.
Okay. I steal his
shit.
bow. He throws it on the ground and he walks off, and I'm just like,
Free bow.
Yeah.
I think at that point I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna try on that cap.
How
Okay,
to make a bad
you-
day even worse?
You have
Jeez.
a longbow. When you go to pull it, you realize that you need at least 16 strength in order to draw the bow.
no, it's a proper longbow.
It's a proper longbow, and it is
Can they even use those?
very heavy. He
That
could.
halfling probably took exotic weapon proficiency to use it.
I thought they could only use weapons up to a certain size.
You might have to find out what he does to use it.
Oh, he probably
this is where-
enlarges himself.
This is where you trade to horse dog and get one that you can use.
Right. Or I give it to your character.
I want to try on his cap though. He has like a nice hunter's cap,
He
right?
does
with
have
a,
a nice
with a feather
hunter's
in
cap.
it. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he threw it on the ground, so I'll pick that thing up.
You pick it up, and you have a very fashionable halfling's hunter's cap. It is undersized for your head, so it kind
That's
of
fine. It's like it
just
rests
kinda
on top,
Rests on
right?
top. Yeah.
I kind of like set it to the side a little bit, and it's just kind of held up by a little bunch of hair.
You feel as you put it on and you're trying to mess with just the perfect fit. You feel something like scratchy, like cutting into your skin just a little bit, like a bramble or something in the inside of the cap.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, as you flip it over and look at it, you see inside these small little capsules, basically, made of iron and wood caps, and they're just lining the inside of the hat. There are 4 of them.
Okay, I'm gonna pop one of those out really fast and then just kind of like put it in my pocket and put the hat back on.
Okay, yeah, you put the hat back on, and you have pocketed one of these little capsules.
Yeah.
Excellent. The rest of you see about 5 hobbits with giant white chef's hats on. They become running around to each of these creatures, and they begin casting spells. And they kind of hum as they do so, and create this kind of like music of cooking. And they cast spells that begin cleaning the creature. It has been like the feathers fly off the owlbear, begin sectioned out. In spells, you smell cooking that just occur in front of you, and they begin magically preparing each of these beasts that have been killed to eat. It seems that about one of them can handle any of the other creatures out here, but they all 5 have to come to your Auroch, and they look around and go, oh dear. And they all begin enchanting their spells together, and slowly your Auroch is completely skinned. It is dissected into more manageable bits and cooked and feasted. The eldest of the halflings comes around at this time and has a crown made of like woven grass to hand to each Sambar and Rose, and along.
I get down real low so you can put it on my head.
Yes. the elder places on your head. He says, "Oh, well done to the king and queen of the hunt. You two have gone above and beyond." She then produces a cloak made of woven grasses on one side, and on the other there's this kind of almost velvet looking sheen to it, and she says, "I don't know which of you wants to take this, but we only have one for the leader of the group." And she produces it, says, "This is of course the cape of the king. Use it well." And she says, "Of course, next year we'll need it back, but for the year that you are king of the feast, it is yours." And just kind of sticks it out there between the 2 of you.
I'll take it, I guess, and then put it on Rose.
Oh.
Aww, that's adorable.
I look at it,
Rose just looks at you like with the big eyes.
You can have it.
I'm so honored. I don't know what to say. I'm
nice.
like, I will honor this gift, and I will rule as wisely as I can as the queen of the hunt.
This elicits a nice chuckle from the elder in front of you. It says, good. We need a wise ruler of the hunt." And she kind of steps forward to the all of everyone now that the feast has happened and says, "Let the feasting commence, everyone!" And the servers begin placing down the large meats and prepared tarts and pies and vegetables and everything on these large benches just outside of town. And as the sun begins to set, all of you begin eating, or begin having the opportunity to feast with the hobbits.
Hells yeah!
So I assume there's this is it's not just the hunted food, right? Like there's all kinds of food that's been prepared over the day and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Tom has a nice balanced dinner. This is
Nice balanced dinner. No cheat day today. Eat your vegetables, kid. Very good.
So
he eats entirely too much, but he adds more vegetables to make up for all the extra meat.
Perfect. Yes.
Gandalf eats tons of meat in honor of Cormac.
Cormac who ate no meat.
Physically can,
Yeah, Cormac was the veggie kid.
Oh wait, Cormac was a veggie kid? Oh.
Yeah. He didn't have canines.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Darn, no. Then
That's why in the eating contest in the first episode, when that guy ate the whole chicken, Cormac was like, "Well, I don't know what to do about that. I'm a cow."
Did he have 5 stomachs?
I did cud a couple of times and start chewing on it. If you watch my camera on stream, occasionally I'll just start chewing for no reason at all.
So, the 5 of you feast. There are tarts and pies and
Is there an
potatoes
eating
and turnips
contest
and
now,
squashes.
or-
You missed the tart eating competition. That was earlier in the day. You had to spend quite a bit of time hunting this giant auroch.
Now that I think about it, if I'd used enhanced ability, I probably could have won at least one of these competitions.
You did, kind of.
That's true.
And so you are, as king and queen of the hunt, you are seated at a kind of like central location, along with the elders of the village and all the winners of the other competitions, including the pig wrestling champion, the smoke ring blower, the tart eating competition winner, and you all have little like items and gadgets with them. One has a smoke ring, one has a pie tin. You have this cloak and this crown. And all of the hobbits kind of come up and celebrate each of them in turn at some point during the meal. You know, being, oh, what a fantastic hunt that was! Oh, I've never seen such a beast slain before. Who knew they even could be? And things along those lines as you eat your meals. Eventually, as the feasting winds down, the elders kind of get up and say, "It is time we prepare the fields for the next for the next year. In the winter they will lay barren, and we will honor them with a fire for Bridgess, as she rose from the ashes.
I was about to say,
So will our."
I hold Rose. It's lift up to the world as they burn everything.
Wait, do they actually plan to like burn everything?
And they do. They have
Yeah,
a field.
I'll as like the cleric of Bridgess, I offer my services here.
Yeah, they have a ritualistic field burning, all saying prayers for their crops to rise with virility next year through the ashes of that they give to Bridgess. They've over the course of the day, they've kind of burrowed out a safety along the grass. There's kind of like a trench that is their specific fields, and they begin as the sun sets and the feast is over, ritualistically lighting these fields aflame and watching the kind of controlled burn. There seems to be some kind of casters on hand as well that can monitor the flames to make sure they don't go out of control. As a cleric of Bridgess, they will of course bow to you and allow you to have your field to light as well.
Yeah, I kind of go around and kind of like offer blessings and stuff like that as the burnings go on.
The burning continues into the night, and the hobbits all begin to kind of sing a little hymn into the night as the fields burn. The hymn is slow and almost somber, but it doesn't sound sad. It's just kind of a dirge. And as the song continues until the flames burn down into just ash. When there's nothing left, there's a ceremonious planting of one flower in each of the fields, and the winners of the competitions are all asked to take one field as their own, and so they'll come to Sambar and Rose and be like, this one would be yours. We would be honored if you would plant the first seed for the coming year. And they kind of hand you that and nod and walk off to other fields and other people that will be planting it.
So we're supposed to plant a single seed, is that it?
It's like a ceremonious thing, yeah. They'll replant in full later, but this is just part of the ceremony.
I'll lean to Rose and I'll be like, so when I put it in the ground, we're gonna make a show of it, make it grow straight away, right?
Of course we are. This is the best part of it. I don't understand the whole burning thing, but, making things grow is a good thing.
In a minute, I'll explain it, and then I'm gonna go arm wrestle the pig guy.
Excellent.
Let's do this. And you just see me, like, with one hand, just go, boom, just like big-ass scoop, put the seed in, flatten it down, and I'm like, you're up.
Right, and I don't know what is in there, right? But I use my druid craft, right? So I like lean down, touch it, and I just make it like sprout up straight away.
And with that, a large kind of rose bush just appears and magically grows up, blooming in front of the entire audience. Again, the children of the town are greatly impressed by this and applaud and clap and smile and cheer. You see some murmuring across the adults, but they all kind of nod and appreciate the fact that they have.
Young
There's
people
one-
these days, they don't know how to honor
There's
ritual.
one old dwarf that's like, it's only a cantrip.
But the children are quite enamored with your performance.
I'll pull my dagger and I'll cut a rose from it.
Mm-hmm.
Is the smoke stuff that we were blowing, is that like tobacco, or are we going full Lord of the Rings halflings with like pipeweed?
It's just
You're getting stoned, boy.
I thought it was just tobacco, but if you want to get stoned with some halflings, I'm sure we can make that happen.
It's gonna cost you though.
Either. Well, I was gonna say if it's pipeweed, then Tom's definitely gonna load up before we leave town.
Just to warn you though, Tom, if you're smoking with a hobbit, you can only get half baked.
Oh! That was good.
Oh no.
That was amazing. All right. I envisioned it as tobacco, but
Sure, I'm
if
fine
you
with
do-
tobacco. That's
okay.
doesn't really make much difference.
Alrighty, sure enough. So with that, the day kind of comes to an end. You sleep, and the morning comes in Skillet's Creek. You are going to be here for probably another day while Horsedog sells his wares before heading back towards Sarmanath. Is there anything you want to do in this town now on the other half of the festival, or on the other side of the festival, excuse me?
I'm going to see if I can acquire stuff to make more arrows.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah. It takes you a little bit of time to find a Fletcher in the town, as they don't do a ton of hunting here. But you do eventually find the home of the person who lost the hunting competition to you. You see the same kind of chubby halfling. And as you approach, he kind of gives you a dour look. But as you say you want to buy some arrows, he perks up. Okay, well, what can I get for you exactly?
Well, really, I just need the shafts and the heads. I have the feathers that I require to make arrows.
Shafts and heads, you say? Shafts and heads. Okay, well, the shafts are quite rare around these parts. Not a ton of wood, you see. We make some out of the reeds. But for a real proper shaft, I'm gonna have to charge you a silver piece each. For the heads, do you want stone or do you want iron?
Iron, if I could.
Iron. Okay. Well, so for a set staff and head both, I will charge you 1 silver and 5 copper. Yes, I think per
Wow.
set.
This guy is fleecing you.
I know. I'll take 21.
21 of them. Excellent. And he begins to add up all of the arrow bits and begins counting them out to you, and kind of waits expectantly for you to count out the silver to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll hand it. I think it comes to like 2. I'll just give him 3 gold.
It's 21 silver and half that again. So it's
So I'll give him
like-
1 gold. I don't have any change. You can keep the change. Better luck next year. And I
Oh,
leave.
okay. He
Better luck next year.
he was on the verge of liking you that you were paying these exorbitant prices, but then you hand him a gold and say better luck next year, and his face just
He was overcharging me to start with.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
had to
that's
rub the
insane.
salt in. the
and you
wound.
did, and you can tell it hurts him, but he just takes your gold and puts it in his pocket. Says, "I will have better luck next year. I just gotta find where I put my hat," and he stomps off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I think at this point it's like winding down. Maybe Vilith and Tom are having a smoke sword fight.
The hobbits or the halflings are all wandering around looking at you like, Man, how did you not win? These guys are really good. Dang.
You're muted, Mike. You're still muted.
That was a very... I'm sure we can all
Yeah.
put words in his mouth.
Yeah, I think I know what was
We're
up.
creating little smoky gladiators that are like having combat in midair.
Yeah. And all the hobbits, even the ones that won, are all just kind of watching like, my God. This is
bordering on
how did they not win?
I totally want to arm wrestle the pig guy.
Okay, you eventually track down the pig wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a large barrel-chested halfling with oversized arms, and he smiles at you, and you propose to challenge him. He says, "Are you sure that's a good idea? An arm wrestling competition?"
Yes, I do.
All right
I get
then.
my
all right.
cowboy hat on. I slip it on. Let's
Well,
do this.
Let's make it interesting then. What do you say we put a little wager on it? Ah, make it a little interesting.
You're on.
All right. What do you got?
Which coin? And I just flick out a gold piece.
A gold? All right, I can do a single gold. And he slaps a gold piece down next to yours on a log, and he puts his hand out. Let's do it.
Very well. I
All
like
right.
stretch out the good old get that extra.
Stretch out gun number 1.
Yeah. Hey, you're gonna flex both. You're gonna stretch both, and you're like, all right, this one. This
All right.
Thomas
We
got
will
low
have a
center of
contest
gravity.
of athletics. You're going to
All right.
roll athletic strength versus his athletic strength, and the winner is the one who can pin down the other's arm.
Oh, I rolled low.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
He rolls a 19, and he grabs your hand, and in a short bit of tussle, kind of smiles to himself and thinks, and says out loud, "Ah, the gold is mine," before slamming your hand down to the log next to you. He scoops up the coins and says, "If you ever want to try to win them back, you know where to find me." And begins kind of whistling to himself as he walks back off to go about his day.
Did you just
I
lose
just-
to a halfling?
The 14 on the dice says yes. At this time, I'm like, that guy's on something.
Speaking of being on something, when we wind down for the night, I'm gonna flick one of these capsules to Janlar and say, Janlar, could you eat that really fast? Well, not the whole capsule. Just
Oh my God! Please don't kill somebody by letting them swallow things nobody has checked before.
Chandler says, "Where did you get this?"
I kind of want to be like, I'll do it.
yeah, do it. Go for it. Right here. And I
Yeah.
flick him the capsule.
Is it an eating capsule? Like, what are we
No,
talking?
it's
There's
like
like a
a
little
little.
cork on it that you
It's a
can
little
pop out.
iron capsule with wood like caps on the end.
All right, well, I pop the cap.
Uh huh.
What's inside? Do I snort it? Do I drink it? What do I do? I just like stand.
There's
Snort
a
it.
there's
Oh
a
God.
there's a liquid in there that immediately gives off a little bit of steam as soon as the air touches the. After you flick the cap off, as the air touches liquid, it gives off a little bit of steam.
Down the hatch, man. It's time.
You
Yeah.
said you were gonna drink it.
Yeah, down it.
All right, you down it.
I'm probably.
Are
gonna ruin
you
my
attempting to? It
I'm
would
not
come with a
resisting.
saving throw. Are you going to pass? Are you going to try to pass your save, or are you trying to let the effects happen?
No, no. Let the effect happen. Like,
All right.
come on, juice me up, boy.
All right, you immediately grow to
I
4
thought so.
times your height.
How much?
4 times.
Oh my god.
Because this was.
Hold up, I got this. Ready? I don't think it's working. Oh.
I was expecting like a couple feet of growth, but we now have like a 20-foot tall satyr
You
on our
are
hands.
you are the size of a giant. This is a potion of giant height. When you do this, you actually lose intelligence equal to the strength of the potion. This particular potion is a 4 strengther, so you lose 4 intelligence and wisdom.
Still smarter. I'm still as smart as a regular
Right,
person.
while under the effects of this potion. So you are the size of a hill giant.
He loses his ability to perform calculus.
And everyone in town starts staring at you.
Hello.
Okay, that was a little bit more extreme than I expected. Could you carefully step outside of town and not flatten any buildings on the way?
Oh, sure. And you just see me tiptoeing on the very tips of my hooves.
And with that, you see the halfling who lost you in the competition come bursting out towards you. Where did you get my hat?
Yeah, and I'm gonna
That is
like knock out
mine.
one of the other capsules and put it in my pocket before I give it back to him.
You
there's
give
two
it
left in
back
his
to
hat.
him, and he immediately looks at it, sees that there's 2 capsules gone, and he goes, "You gave him 2! What? Oh, what fools you are!" Oh, no
Well,
wonder.
he wanted to find out what it was.
Oh, you could have asked. Do you know how expensive these are? My God, they
I
cost
didn't
me an
expect
arm
it to
and a
be.
leg.
I wasn't expecting you to have like a legendary potion of gigantism. I thought he might grow like a foot or two. I wasn't expecting like just to have
As
a
I
wrecking
see-
ball in our hands.
As I see these ants having this conversation, I'm like, you should ask for the rest. This is so cool. I can nearly see my house from here.
Sorry about that.
He looks at you and
Put the
says,
hat down. I thought you didn't want it anymore.
"It'll only last for an hour or 2. You'll be back to normal.
All right, perfect.
It makes you the
Yeah.
size of a giant. Just careful. with other
that
people's
explains
things."
it. I was wondering how you managed to fire that longbow. No offense or anything. It's just never seen a halfling fire a longbow before.
Well, you know, if you're gonna be the town's protector and hunter, you gotta have a way to do it. This is mine. This is very expensive, by the way.
Yeah, very
Jeez.
expensive way to do it.
All right. And he kind of takes his hat, puts it on, and stomps off back towards his abode.
I just look down at Tom and I'm like, we should have had this when I needed to bring back the beast.
Well, we didn't get it until after, so.
Oh, that's where you got the hat from. I
Yeah,
didn't
he threw it
realize
on the
when you got
ground.
it.
I take out that guy's longbow. I hand it to Sambar. I'm like, here, I can't use this.
Is it any different to mine?
It is a heavier pull than yours, but you have 18 strength, so you probably have a custom. I actually take that back. In order to utilize your full 18th strength, you have to have like a very strong pull longbow. So no, in fact, this is inferior to yours. But now as a giant, you can pull this real easy.
I kind of just want to have a laugh. I get an arrow and I'm like, can you light the end? I want to see how far it goes. And just like,
Oh, light. It will immediately go out. Doesn't work that way.
Damn.
Flaming arrows? Yeah.
No,
Need
like
oil.
the light cantrip.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can do that.
that's-
Yeah, and I
that's
light
true.
the arrowhead.
All right, you cast light on the arrowhead, and you pull the bow as far as it'll go, and you fire it. I wasn't prepared to include a range. It goes, man. It goes.
somewhere
Down the road.
It doesn't go
Just
thousands of
down
feet.
the road.
A
Goes
normal
somewhere over the
longbow
ring.
goes 600. I say you've increased your range by a stage of 4. I think you probably shoot this at like maximum range of 100. You've grown 4 times in size. You get 100 feet of extra for each. Does that sound fair? As a giant, you have a max range of 1,000 feet now instead of 600.
It's like a fifth of a mile.
Yeah, you shoot this. You shoot this sucker a while.
You just hear thump, and it's just like you just see it go for fucking ages, and then it
Cloud-
just
And
lands.
you,
Cloud
you hit a
doormat
person
has to-
coming into town a quarter of a mile away.
Oh, it's so cool.
All right, let's get you out of town before you destroy any buildings.
Okay.
And we heard him out of town, and I guess we get ready to wind down for the
I
night.
just wave at the children and shit, like make it like a show.
All right. And so your day and night in Skillet's Creek passes. Horsedog is eventually done after his second day of sales there, and so the next morning, the 5 of you and Horsedog begin your long trek back through the grasslands, back through the sea of grass towards Willard's Mill and the old road where you left back 2 sessions ago by now. And you begin the long trek back. What is it like between the 5 of you as you travel along through the sea of grass with Horsedog? Like, what is it like? How are you talking to each other? Are you traveling? What do you spend your days doing?
I think with Semba, I'm getting to know the rest of the party more, like getting to know that Tom is like, you know, a cleric and all his thing about burning shit. And we've got Janla, and like he's a professor. Like every time it's like I've got from Rose that like he's a professor. He's called a professor.
Oh yeah.
Right? So like just learning, you know, what's he a professor of, and all this sort of stuff. And like trying to get Lilith to tell me anything about her, it's just like a struggle because she's always like riddles. I've noticed everything you say is a riddle. You're like, I can, but will I? I'm like, God damn. And explaining to Rose that like my people think that yous are like deities. Like Spriggans are like the Dalai Lama, or like, you know, you are a messiah given to us from the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm very honored to travel with you. Also, I want to know what that cloak does, or is it just a cloak?
How do you experiment with it? Do you spend some time trying to figure out what it does?
I just getting Rose to stand in the grass and like crouch and then stand back up. Stand back up.
Like this? Was that good enough?
I can't see. Maybe turn around.
I turn around. I just like.
While you
do that.
notice that she disappears, while wearing the cloak on the woven grass side, you can, as an action, basically blend into any natural surrounding. So you find it works in the grasslands particularly well. But for any natural surrounding, as long as you don't move, it is effective invisibility that you can activate as an action. While on the velvet side, you'd spend some time messing around with it. As one action, you can change the look of your clothes. When you wrap yourself around the velvet, you gain the ability to illusorily change the clothes you are wearing to fit a different pattern or style or color. But they don't actually change. It's just an appearance.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very.
Look, you have clothes on, and now think of a different set. Look at that, you have different clothes on.
I just go through my little book of etiquette and look at all these really, really old costumes and stuff. So I look like somebody dressed like 200 years ago. I'm like, is this good? Is this the right color? I'm not really good with this. She just looks like.
We find out Rose is actually colorblind.
Yeah, she's like Marie Antoinette at one point, and then she's like a noble servant at one point, and then she's
exactly
Chinese royalty, and the next like.
At some point during the journey, I want to go up to Villith and say, "So, what was your business with Gormak and Emily?"
Well, I'm not only employed by the Seekers, and they owed some other people I work for money.
Oh?
Yeah, but they're dead now. I don't think that investment's going to get cashed in.
Most likely not. Well, maybe if we go kill the orcs.
Perhaps.
I think that's going to be a later journey. I don't fancy going back there right now.
I watched Gormak fight in the fighting pits. if that thing took him down, I'm not much interested in going toe to toe with it.
Agreed. Maybe at a later date when I can shoot fire from my eyeballs.
You can't really do that.
Rose just bugs and she's like,
Background, like, what?
No, right now it's only from the hands.
I say you can't do that already, and I cast thaumaturgy, and my eyes glow with fire, like I'm about to shoot fire out of them.
Oh,
I quickly
fancy, and
I quickly put my cloak back on.
Yeah, the road turns visible in the field somewhere.
I slowly disappear into the grass.
Rose just gone. She's become completely invisible.
She just nopes out. She's just like, this party is far too fire focused. Can't do this.
I feel like Rose is in literally the worst party for her to belong to.
You just see those you just see slight footsteps next to Genla in the deep grass as we move forward.
Genlar shoots fireballs.
Yes, but he is at least, attentive to my stay. He's like, oh, if Rose is standing there, I'm not going to shoot her, right?
She's in her animal form. You've never seen me cast another fireball while she's standing there.
Yeah.
And this is why I didn't take the spellcasting archer thing. Nah, that won't go well.
So your journey passes about 3 days in the Sea of Grass. The weather turning colder, and most days are sunny, but on the second day it is kind of a gray overcast that turns to a light falling snow for a few minutes at a time. Eventually that passes, and you're once again sunny. As the grasses are beginning to lower and become more akin to what you noticed on your way to Willard's Mill, you hear off kind of in the background a howl. And as you look, you see in the sea of grass the shifting and obvious signs of something racing through the grass, although trying to keep down around a lengthy around the height of the grass out of sight. You count 5 figures traveling behind the caravan, but quickly and approaching.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get to work. And I just pull my bow and get to the back.
I'm gonna hop down the back and preemptively cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
I think they're after the robe.
All right, you prepare for battle. As you do so, eventually the caverns are turned around. You set yourself for battle, and the shapes approach the edge of the grass. They pop out, and you see that there are 4 wargs, and each of them have an orc clinging to the side of it. And as they come out of the grass, they lift themselves up and are riding down the path at you. And I believe we should have some initiative here on the final day of your trek through the Sea of Grass.
Do you want to do initiative today, or do you want to save the battle for next week?
We could save the battle for next week if you.
Yeah, it might take a little bit if there's 8 combatants.
Okay, then that sounds good to me.
Vilith's preparatory action is to just duck into the grass and hide, and be hidden at the start of combat.
You rolled a lot of.
Chandler is going to get.
We will come back, I guess, next week, and we will have your preparatory actions re-explained so that we get in a feel for where we're at, and we will see what you do with these orcs as they have finally happened upon you. You guys rolled 9 encounters in the Sea of Grass, and most of them did not involve orcs, and I just don't know how that happened. I'm very glad you finally rolled some orcs. Let me put together some experience. We will go ahead and call the stream for today here. Why don't you guys give any shout-outs or whatever you want to say before the stream ends, and I will calculate you some experience.
We're up to 3 episodes now for the LUQ podcast. Episode 3 is where we get into proper combat for the first time. I think it's where the show really kicks off. We recorded the next 5 on Tuesday this week, which I think is where I got my sore throat from. But I think from episode 3 onward, I think it just gets better. So if you haven't checked it out yet, now's the time to check it out, because the good episodes are actually live now, and it's just getting better from here.
Sweet. If you want to see more of my face or more in D&D stuff, you can head over to my channel over on Twitch. I'll just put hi. You can click on my name from there. And yeah, drop us a follow. I stream every single day of the week. Tuesdays are possible get D&D day. Wednesdays and Sunday I stream D&D and Pathfinder. Sundays are all day from 6 a.m. I'm on this game, then 10, then 3, all 4 hours plus D&D across the board. And yeah, playing all different kinds of video games as well, so you can catch me every day of the week. If you haven't already, make sure you hit follow on Greg's stream as well, and the sub button. All right, need to encourage this.
Well, I appreciate
That's
that.
it.
Go to Greg's YouTube channel, like and subscribe.
Do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I'm gonna burn up in embarrassment. Okay.
Rate it 5 stars, even if you don't watch.
Occasionally watch. Just take the time.
Anything else y'all want to say before we head out?
I'm good.
All right.
good.
All
See you
right.
next
So I want you all to take home 230 experience each. Most of that for returning Garrett Goldenthroat's harp. And we will see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Adios, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.